Brennan, you saved the day with your IT acumen.
Oh, there it
Is
is.
it acumen or acumen? We had some technical problems, but Brennan fixed them.
Hey, everybody. Sorry about that. Glad everybody's here.
Yeah. Brennan saved the day with his technical expertise. I think this is the first time Andrew didn't set up the meeting and Brendan had to set it up. So he had to start from scratch and download apps and programs and do all that stuff just to get the meeting up and running. So good job, Brendan, getting that fixed.
Yeah, thanks, Brennan. Technical difficulties beyond our control.
Yes.
Question.
We'll just,
Is Jay on here? It said Mr. Griffin. Trying to
Yes.
take attendance. Okay.
Yes, ma'am, I am. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm trying to figure out how to turn my camera on. Let's see here.
Okay.
Let me,
I see you, Eddie.
okay, thanks. I got my earphones in. Those are those funny white things.
So
It
let's
helps
do
me,
this. Let's go ahead and get started and call the meeting to order, okay?
Okay.
You good with that?
Yeah, unless you want to wait a few minutes since we had a little bit of a delay to see if people need to log back in.
Let's wait till about 4:45. It's 4:42 right now.
Okay, give it a few minutes.
Is everybody good with that? Sounds good.
Miss Taylor, are you a guest?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
And you are coming to speak about something?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you tell me the topic?
Yes, I'm part of the Elkhorn Green Subdivisions Homeowners Association. And so I was kind of asking stuff about like parking situations and speeding and stuff in our neighborhood.
And that's fine. I just wanted to make sure if I put it in my notes now, we could get that part out of the way when I start trying to type and take.
Thank you.
So the way of introductions, I'm the city engineer. My name's Eddie Hightower. Everybody else knows me, but since you're new, thanks for coming. And we look forward to hearing what you have to say about traffic related issues. This is the traffic committee for the city of Georgetown, and it is a cross section of several different departments, council members, and multiple agencies within the city and state government. So we meet once a month to discuss traffic related problems, parking, speeding, anything that has to do with traffic or transportation that's related to the city. That's the purpose of this group, is to resolve some of these issues if we can, you know, hopefully make traffic better for everybody. So.
And just to follow Eddie's suit, I'm Connie Tackett, a member of City Council, and I chair, and I have a co-chair, Todd Stone with City Council, Eddie Hightower, and Brennan, his assistant. I think he's trying to get on now. We've had some technical difficulties.
I'm trying to get us to go live now. Just I'll be there in a second here.
Okay.
Yeah. We
He's
publish
trying to
this on YouTube as a public meeting. It gets uploaded on our website at the city and YouTube under the YouTube, you know, kind of channel that we have set up for anybody who wants to, you know, take a look at.
Let us know, Brennan, when we're live, okay?
Okay, YouTube is loading now. I've already done all the login, so it should start live streaming here soon.
Okay, just let us know and then we'll start the meeting. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, Brandon. Ready to go, Brandon?
I think it's live. I'm trying to check here on actual YouTube to see if it is.
Okay. You ready, Brennan?
Why don't we go ahead and get started?
Well,
I think we're live. It says custom live streaming, so I think we're live now.
okay, well, let's call the meeting to order. Right now, I welcome the guests, but what I'd like to do is go ahead and ask for a motion of the meetings from last month.
I make a motion.
Eddie makes a motion. Do I have a second?
I second that,
Who did that?
Todd.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions about the last minutes? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, then I would like to welcome our guests, and I think we have Mr. Griffin here and also Shannon Taylor. If I could, Mr. Griffin, if you would like to start, go ahead, please.
Yes, Ms. Tackett. I was on this meeting just to follow up on the previous meetings I was able to attend. Regarding Old Oxford Road, that would be item 4 on your current agenda. I know that I brought this up several months ago, back in July, and about the safety issues. And of course, I brought up, it is a narrow road, people speeding a lot, tailgating a lot of things that had just gotten out of control because of the rapid growth, too much traffic for no road that can handle it, and way too many vehicles. And of course, as we all know, lack of enforcement due to the financial issues that have been bothering the city. But for many, many years, obviously, but I'm just calling to follow up. The last time I spoke, we were talking about what could be done because the police department obviously does not have the manpower and will not have the manpower in any reasonable time, I believe, to do any enforcement, which surprises me because, when somebody complains, the police have told me in the sheriff's department that they know this is a problem area. The mayor has mentioned that. But anyway, you would think that maybe they could do a little thing to make it safer, with the complaints. They're obviously aware, but I understand that. But I just wanted to follow up. We were talking about a similar corridor, which really, in a lot of ways, seems very similar, except it doesn't have the curvy parts and the missing shoulders at Old Oxford Road. But as far as the straightaway, I think not even the distance very similar. Oxford Drive. And I was trying to find out in July and see what could be done for safer roads. Now, I was very pleased when I noticed the city council meeting last week that the mayor had brought up Old Oxford Road. And obviously, I guess in conjunction and joint effort with the county, they're going to start repairing some of the shoulders to make, that part of the road safer. And even it's amazing that all of a sudden that seems to be the forefront. It wasn't the original thing that kind of brought into the limelight, the newspaper and everything, reporting on issues on Old Oxford. But I'm just wondering, the mayor, and of course, I'm going to plan on attending the next city council meeting by Zoom. But I was very surprised he didn't even mention the other safety issue on Old Oxford that have been plaguing it for years. And that is really, you all did have a thing that recorded speeds years ago. I'm sure there's something in the records. Maybe Lieutenant Lodell, maybe they have records of the tickets, amount of tickets, the speeds people driving. When over the 15 years, they have done some enforcement, the very few times on Old Oxford Road. It's been, people got pulled over and they complained. So that's, in my opinion, that's a citizen-wide stop, but now it's money situations. But I was very surprised it wasn't mentioned at all, just the shoulders. So I mentioned Oxford Drive back in July, I think, to Mr. Hightower, because I was trying to get some information, and maybe if the news graphic or somebody's there, they could help me, because I haven't been able to get that information far. Why can't we do something like Oxford Drive? Now, if you all have had a chance in the last month to maybe drive those roads and see how familiar they can be in those corridors, where right about the time Cherry Blossom subdivision starts, where the houses are very close to the road there. Probably as close as to mine and the few neighbors from Lanes Run Creek, all the houses along Village of Lanes Run and my property, and the houses going up, I guess, to about Magnolia. Then there's a couple of properties, a family has, it's way off the road, the houses. And, but they lowered the speed limit to 25. There's speed bumps right before a stop sign at the subdivision entrance. And of course, on the other side of the road, there's I don't know the name of it, Tambark subdivision. The backs of those houses are very close to the road. So they don't have the driveways coming out as much on Oxford Drive as they do on Old Oxford Road, but they have the subdivision entrances, the right by there, there's noise, there is this thing called noise pollution. But why can't, with all the complaints, I mean, it just doesn't seem like it would cost that much to put a stop sign, maybe put speed bumps to slow people down, maybe do a little enforcement every once in a while.
Okay, Mr. Griffith.
Yes, sir. And the reason I've been asking this since July, Mr. Hightower.
We asked people we've heard you speak before.
Yes.
And we asked people to keep their comments to about 5 minutes.
Okay. Well, then I'll do that.
Okay.
I was hoping to make up for the meetings. I didn't get a Zoom link, but that's fine.
We understand. We heard this from you last meeting, and we're working on a solution. And if you'll hang on to the rest of the meeting, we'll provide you some details and some updates on some things that we're doing out on Old Oxford and planning on doing.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. We thank you for coming to the meeting.
Okay. Will I be able to comment a little bit after those number 4 in the agenda? Never mind.
That's fine with us.
I just hope, Lieutenant, maybe you could reach out to the Sheriff's Department, you guys, and get a little help. It would be appreciated. I think it's great that the county is helping with their shoulders for that part of safety. Why not reach out to the Sheriff's Office to get a little help? Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Eddie,
Thank you. Yes.
I want to thank you for that. Mr. Griffin, we are doing that. The county is the Sheriff's Department, and we will get to that later on in the agenda. But right now, I'd like to acknowledge Shannon Taylor as a guest to the Traffic Committee. Shannon, what are your issues, please?
Hi, so I'm with the Elkhorn Greens Homeowners Association here in Georgetown. And since I've lived here now for 3 years, I live on a corner of Meadowview Way and Elkhorn Green Place, where I can see the stop sign from my house. And since I've lived here, and since we've started, especially a neighborhood Facebook page this past year, there has been even more complaints of how they're speeding through the neighborhood, speeding in our roundabouts. I watch people all the time running the stop sign, like not even pausing, just going through. I have FedEx like twice at least on my phone, videotaping them, Amazon, everybody just blowing through the stop signs. I've tried to call companies like Jimmy John's, who doesn't care that their people do it. I've called Papa John's about their drivers. We also had Lieutenant Little had just given us one of those speed detector boxes out on our main road on Elkhorn Green Place, which I was hoping would be a deterrent. And we also have a lot of street parking in our neighborhood, which is kind of, it's not that wide of streets, and we have parking on one side only, but we have people that park right on top of the stop sign, people that have just parked for days, people that have trailers parked on there. And since now that I've been on the board, I've just been trying to reach out to see if there's something that we can do. I've heard that speed bumps were not allowed in our neighborhood. I didn't know if there was allowed to be signs that said, slow down, kids at play, if there was a way that maybe we could paint some of the curbs until the stop sign, so you're not allowed to park there, just something that we could do to try and help that. So I'm just kind of looking for ideas and insights, please.
Ms. Taylor, I will address some of that, and Mr. Hightower can step in as well. Mr. Hightower and I just went out last week, and we were talking about the parking on this side of, no parking on this side of the street. We're getting ready to implement that. It's going to take us some time. We've been waiting on our traffic ordinance, which we're getting ready to work on. But until we can get that done and present it to council, there's some steps that we are going to take. As far as speeding goes, 25 miles an hour is what's posted. At the end of the day, that relies on the individual. You get your license, you take your test, you have laws to abide, and we only have so many police officers that can be at certain places. And that's why we moved that traffic thing around. But at the end of the day, it's their responsibility. But to answer your question, as far as the parking on the side of the street, we are going to be addressing that. Mr. Hightower, do you have anything you want to add to that?
No, except on the speeding, we have speeding issues. They're violating the law. The people who are speeding down the street unsafely are ultimately the ones responsible. Now, we do patrol regularly with police. You know, would we like to have 10 more police officers? Well, yeah, we'd love to. But they do a great job with the resources that they have patrolling for speeders.
Yes, they do. So Mr. Hightower is going to be putting together with Brennan streets that they're going to be putting up the no parking on this side of the street. We're going to be working on that. Again, I want to say that we just started that last week. We're not planning on presenting our traffic ordinance to the city council until probably after July, after we pass the budget. But that's kind of our plan. Would you agree to that, Mr. Hightower?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds great. Yeah.
And Ms. Taylor, I would invite you to come back to our meetings every time to find out where we're at. Absolutely encourage you to do that, to keep us accountable for no other reason. And then we have council meetings the second and fourth Monday of every night and Monday night, and you're welcome to address those as well.
Okay, and then are we allowed to paint like around the stop signs? Or is that a thing the city does? Is that a thing our homeowners are allowed to do? Is that?
We would have to paint any kind of, I'm assuming you're talking about yellow paint on the curb.
Yeah, just kind of say, you know, because they park right in front of the stop sign, which we're already like clogged enough as it is, and then trying to turn. Yeah,
send me an email of an exact area that you had in mind. I'll go take a look at it. I can't promise you we'll paint anything or not, but we'll definitely go by and take a look at it. Okay. If you just would shoot me an email to eddie.hightower@georgetownky.gov. And just, you know, any information, address, a nearest address, that's always helpful. And then we can go by and take a look at it.
Okay. And then are we allowed to put up signs like how the stop signs are that say like slow kids at play? Is that a thing that we'd be allowed to do as a homeowners, or do we have to get city permission for that? Yeah,
it would have to be through the city. Yeah. Something like that. We typically don't put those types of signs up. Most of ours are traffic control signs, stop signs, and those kinds of things.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Ms. Taylor?
Yes, sir.
Was you talking about yard signs, or are you talking about actual posted signs?
I was hoping for like maybe I guess a posted sign. I guess how the metal signs are that say like no parking on this side. I didn't know if there's a way to get some just randomly throughout the neighborhood that, I don't know. I'm just trying to think of anything that could deter people from stopping it.
Right. And yeah, and that would definitely be something that city engineer would deal with. I thought you were maybe talking about just the slow keep,
Yeah, just like the person. Yeah.
Yeah, you can put those up. We don't have any issues with that.
Okay, if you're good with that, Ms. Taylor, we're going to move on with our agenda. Okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you for
continuing. Thank you. Thanks for coming.
Thank you, Ms. Taylor.
So, new business.
So Yeah.
Eddie,
So, new business, you want me to take this next one, the Old
Please.
Oxford? Okay.
yes.
So, Old Oxford, everybody's talking about the condition of the road. We recognize that very much. The issue is complicated. It's twofold. One is the bigger picture, which is to totally rebuild Old Oxford Road, which would be our ultimate goal. That involves lots of money and investment. And the city has applied for 2 years in a row for a build grant. And it was an expensive process and a time-consuming process. We actually brought in an outside engineering firm to help us prepare the application. We sent that to the Federal Highway Department. We did not receive the grant. And we've done that for 2 years in a row. And that was, what we would like to do would require is a very large multi-million-dollar project. And we would like to do that. But in the interim, what we're going to do is do a really nice shoulder widening project. We're going to get the shouldering machine, and this is going to be a joint venture between the county. They own the shouldering machine, the piece of equipment that we need. The city's going to put up the money to buy all the blacktop once the blacktop plant's open. And we're going to do some improvements on Old Oxford Road. We're still evaluating the limits of where we're going to do the work. We're going to be meeting this week with everybody who's involved. So it's a joint effort between myself and Ben Krebs, both on the committee. The county, Scott County Road Department's going to work with the city of Georgetown. We'll provide a lot of the labor. So we're going to be doing some shoulder improvement projects out on Old Oxford that I think people will be very happy to see happen. And that's basically number 4.
Thank you, Eddie.
Mhm.
We're going to move on to old business.
Oh, I got one more new business, Connie.
Please go
I'm
ahead.
sorry.
That's
Yeah,
okay.
sorry. So we're gonna. I wanted to remind everybody the streetscape project on 460. We've talked about it a bunch. That's sidewalks over the Royal Springs Bridge, widening the road and all that, or widening the sidewalks and working on top there of the Royal Springs Aquifer. It bids on Friday. So on Friday we will have our construction contractor identified, and we'll move towards awarding of that bid and moving forward with the project. So I want to give that update to everybody.
That's exciting. We've been waiting for that for quite a while, Eddie. That's good
Yeah, and
news.
yeah, it's been on the agenda for a long time, but we got an update to old business, basically.
Okay, good job.
I've got a new item as well that I wanted to bring
Okay.
up.
Thank you, Nick. Go ahead.
So we ended up working a wreck. I want to say it's the 3rd wreck that we've worked in the last maybe 3 or 4 months. And it's on 460 in front of Arby's, where we've had somebody prematurely turn. And so instead of turning into the parking lot, they end up turning into the steep ditch. So we had a wreck just the other night. And I don't know if there's a way, if that meets qualifications for guardrails or some type of something to basically mark that is basically a grass ditch there, and that it is not the place to turn in, because it can be a little deceptive, especially at night, which is this last wreck that we worked.
Is it on the Arby's side or on the Elkhorn side?
On the Arby's side.
Okay.
It's generally people wanting to turn into the Arby's parking lot, and they're thinking that there's an entrance there instead of going all the way down to the driveway, that they have to turn in to then turn into the parking lot. And I think we've had 3 wrecks in the last couple months. No injuries that I'm aware of, but caused some pretty extensive damage to some of the vehicles.
Nick,
Sure.
would that be coming, going west and turning left into Arby's, or the other way around?
Yes.
Okay.
Going west.
It's
and
dark.
Yep.
Eddie, can we check that out
Yes.
and
Yeah,
look at that, and we'll keep
So
that on the
I'll make-
agenda for next week or
Yep,
next
I'll
month?
just put a note to myself for Arby's.
I can send you a picture, Eddie. if
Okay.
you want. That's a
That
little
would
more
be great,
specific.
Nick.
Okay, that's a little more specific to where the exact problem area is.
Okay. Is there any more new business anyone wants to bring forward?
I have one, but it's really quick.
Go.
Recently, probably in the last, well, since we've met, we've had a lot of semis on Main Street and they are not going to, I mean, we're used to having them where they go to the business that's on Chambers, but these are people that are cutting through. So, you know, we used to have that a long time ago and that pretty much ceased. And I'm not really sure why they are doing that. They are not downtown deliveries. These are basically semis. So I'm not sure how we can address that. But I just wanted to bring it to your attention. If I find out who the companies are, I don't mind calling them and letting them know. That's how we got them off the last time. But, you know, I know sometimes the trucking companies route them a way that they're unfamiliar with, or they're unfamiliar that there is a bypass or some other way to go. But it's really picked up recently, which is really unusual. So I just wanted people to be aware.
Okay, you want to, if you find out who the companies are, can you let Eddie and Brennan and I know about that and Todd?
Yeah, please do. Yeah.
That would be
Absolutely.
awesome. Yeah, we can all be in the loop. Okay, thanks, Kitty, for bringing that forward. Anybody else have anything new? If not, let's go to old business number 5, Cynthiana Road, traffic and lighting. Is Patricia Mitchum here tonight? Eddie, are you
Connie,
familiar with that?
Yeah, Connie, I don't think she's on here. She lives in that area and she came to the last meeting. And she talked about mainly cars speeding up and down 62 and difficulty she has getting out of her subdivision onto 62 and out Cynthiana Road, kind of near the Lanes Run Business Park, pretty close to there, out in that end. And Ben had pointed out that we had a number of projects that were being built out there, construction traffic, and we're going to continue to monitor the situation. Short of patrols of officers, there's not much we can do at this time. It's a state road. US 62 is, so they control, control all the connections to 62. So
That would have to be monitored, right, Natalia?
If you're talking about for a signal or something, yes, we'd have to add it to the list for evaluation. But I think there's several projects or neighborhoods being built out there, some including turning lanes that hadn't yet been done yet, perhaps,
Right.
or in process. So
mhm.
kind of need all that to fill out before we want to take a look at the volumes, make sure all the
Yeah.
volumes are actually there.
And that probably needs to be an email to Ms. Mitchum to let her know that that's being monitored. But right now, until those are probably completed and,
Right.
you know, there's not really a whole lot we can do until we get to that point. But
Yeah, we just
Yeah,
have
that
some growing pains out there with all the new
Yes.
growth. Really.
That might be something that would be good to put in the tabled business, at least for like, you know, traffic signal, for the traffic signal request at least.
I agree.
'Cause it might
Okay.
be some time.
Yeah.
let
Yeah,
her
I
know
agree.
that. Okay. Well, let's do that and keep it on the table business. And let's move on to, well, we talked to Mr. Griffin and Mr. about Old Oxford. So we've already addressed those issues. So you go what's going on?
Right. Yes.
Okay. Timing for
Excuse me,
crosswalk. I'm
ma'am?
sorry.
Ms. Tackett?
Yes, sir.
You all mentioned you would be addressing things later in the meeting regarding Old Oxford. Is this the time you were going to do that?
Mr. Hightower addressed them previously, but
Yeah, we just went over the projects out there that we're working on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what I'm trying to find out, and maybe I need to do a public records request. I've been trying to understand why these changes were made to Oxford Drive by Cherry Blossom subdivision in Tamburk. And is it too much to ask a public servant, the city officials, you know, what can we do? And, you know, what is the precedent? What was the reason? Was it people complaints from the neighbors? Was it accidents? What can we do on this road? You know, and you mentioned something about, I said something about the county support through the sheriff's office. And I think you all said you'd be addressing that too later in the meeting. So that's why I've been sticking around. I figured that was under old business.
Did
So
you not?
this is a public meeting, correct? I mean,
Correct. Did
I've
you?
been asking this since July 23rd, even by email and phone calls.
Mr. Griffin,
Yes,
you're
ma'am.
exactly right, but the problem is that we've not had the money to do anything with Old Oxford. We were just approached by the county not too long ago to address this with the shoulders. Mr. Hightower and I just went out there last week to look at it because you've been on the meetings with us.
Yes, ma'am.
It is a concern for us. It is on our radar, but we have not had the money to do anything.
Okay, well, I understand that. I just earlier, unless I'm misunderstood, I mean, it's on video. I guess I can review it. But you all said you'd be addressing. We were talking about maybe getting county support, like you are with the shoulders for the speeding and traffic enforcement. And you know, and how long does it take to get an answer from the city on why this was done? And you know, on another road here, I mean, it seems like there'd be a record of it. Do I have to do it? I mean, is that what I have to do to a public record request? If that's what I have to do, please let me know. I don't know. This is new to me. But
Sir,
an important question from our city elected, appointed, some may be elected officials to try to get an answer, sir. That's all I'm trying to do.
well, I just went over our projects
But that doesn't have anything
and
to do
under the
with
new
my question, sir.
business section about road widening improvements that we're trying to do on Old Oxford Road, and we're
This was
going
on
to do
Oxford Drive. Okay, but hey, I won't even.
Oxford Drive.
Then.
Yes,
I would like to
yes.
leave you with just one thing real quick, everybody. And this is just curious because I wasn't kidding in the newspaper when my life was almost at risk a few times, quite a few times on this road. You know, you all heard of Tiger Woods, right? You know what happened to him, that bad accident. You know, it's interesting. There was an article on February 26th in the USA Today. Now, I know at city council meetings, people bring up newspapers as a precedent or example. So I hope this is okay through this meeting. I don't know how to do the shot to show the article like the lawyers do at the city council meetings and stuff and planning commission. But it's really interesting that the former deputy district attorney of Los Angeles, who's now an attorney, and I'm just going to kind of paraphrase this, but this has been going on a long time. But he says, you know, with all the data that, you know, of all the accidents and complaints and problems with this road, and I don't remember what the name of it is. Does it say this here? Anyway, it's the road that Tiger Woods was nearly killed on. He said that it should put cities on notice that it's a dangerous stretch of roadway. You know, I mean, there's been a lot of complaints, and he says, and the failure to take reasonable steps to alleviate that danger, this is a quote, to either redesign the roadway, add a traffic signal, reduce the speed limit, add speed bumps, or take other variable measures to reduce the risk. Their failure to do so could potentially subject them to liability. So please think about things like this. I mean it. It's gotten dangerous where my life has been put in risk by a city garbage truck, many construction trucks that are like semis just flying down that road to these subdivisions. Thank you, guys. You'll have a pleasant week. Please stay safe and healthy. Goodbye.
Thank you, Mr. Griffin.
Thank
Okay,
you.
let's move on to number 7, timing for crosswalks, US 62, Paris Pike, Rural King. Did you
That's
check
already
that,
been-
Natalia?
Yeah, that one was supposed to be removed.
Okay,
Yeah, remove that from the agenda.
all right, thank you. 205 North Hamilton handicap parking, that was taken care of too, right, Eddie? We drove by there yesterday.
Yeah, it's done. Yeah, it's done.
Take that off,
Yeah.
Kitty. Canewood stop sign parking, Tim? Tim,
Tam, is it?
Sorry, I was on mute. Eddie and I were going to meet out there. We did
Yeah.
discuss it. We're going to meet out there, and I'm going to flag some spots for that
Okay.
Jamestown.
Yeah.
And we'll be good to go out there.
Work in progress. Yeah.
okay, guys, number 10 is 2.
Hold on back. I got confused there. Canewood. Yeah.
Canewood stop sign parking.
Yes, that I've reviewed that as I drive by throughout there. I live out here now, so I haven't seen anything out there. I say just leave it on there, and if I see something, I haven't heard back from the lady that I spoke with initially, but I say let's just keep it on there, and I'll keep monitoring the situation.
Give us,
Yeah.
okay, and give us feedback next month. All right. Thank you. Number 10, two-way signs on stop. Eddie and I are, we're talking about that. We'll come to a conclusion next month. Right, Eddie?
Yes, we're still working on that, trying to figure out what's best out there.
11, bypass and Paynes Depot intersection.
Nothing else is going to happen out there. That was sort of a request, and I think Natalia already looked at it, and that probably should come off the agenda.
Yeah. Do you agree, Natalia?
Yeah, they're
Okay.
working. I think they should be working on it. If they're not already working on it, they should be working on the changes soon.
Okay. Number 12, Copperfield Island parking. Eddie and I talked about that earlier. Code enforcement, Tim, if people have cars there that are like flat tires or something like that, should not probably be parking there. But
Right.
it is additional parking for when they have guests, teenagers or something like that. They utilize that to stay out of the cul-de-sac because of emergency.
I think should be used, honestly. You got that, and then it keeps them off of that main road as well.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, just like anything, if there's a broken down vehicle, it doesn't matter where it is. I mean, they're going to be written up, and I think maybe that was the catalyst that started maybe all this. I'm
Okay.
not real familiar with it. Maybe that's what it was, but I don't see any issue with it. I say if it's there, use it.
It's been there and been used all these years. So I think
40 years, yeah.
let's move
Take
it
that one
off.
off. Take that off too.
Let's
Yeah.
remove
off.
this. Okay.
Okay, number 13, connector access road stop signs, private. We've
Yeah,
talked about
yeah.
that too, right?
Yeah, that's Starbucks. As everyone knows, Starbucks out on connector, the traffic backups that are happening over there. We're working with a developer. He is receptive to putting some signs up at his cost. The city can't do it. It's not a city street.
Right.
It's an access road, but I've sent him that diagram that we have all seen of where the signs need to go, and he's receptive to putting it up. He hasn't committed to doing it 100%, but he's receptive to the idea.
Okay, well, let's remove that one too, Kitty.
I was going to say, do we want to remove it?
Yes, please. 14, Royal Spring Welcome Center parking. Actually, Eddie and I were out. Marshall's Pediatric that was in the church there. They have moved to their new location. So let's just take that off the agenda and see if it comes up later. Okay.
Yep. I think that's good.
Okay, no parking sign, council recommendations. Okay, this is what Eddie and I were working on last week. We're gonna take initiative, and we're gonna take subdivisions one at a time and look at that. Is that correct, Eddie?
Yes, we wanted to make sure everybody agreed to that course of action on the traffic committee.
Eddie and I, when we were driving around, like in Jamestown, we'll start in the colony is what I think we should do because Tim's had the biggest, but in the cul-de-sacs and all of the subdivisions, there needs to be no parking on this side of the street. While we were out there and I was driving through there personally, like on side streets, there are signs that says no parking on this side of the street. So I don't think that that's going to be a big hindrance. I just think it's something that we need to follow through with. Okay. And you're going to meet with Eddie? I'm sorry, Kitty.
It's okay. I just have a question about these four, since they have been on the agenda for quite some time.
Those will be the four.
Jamestown Court, Hickman Street, Cherry Hill Drive, and the Stables 2 entrance.
Yes, we'll start with those.
Okay.
And we had been, just a reminder to everybody, we had been holding off on this because of the traffic ordinance. We wanted to wait till that. We'd be doing nothing that isn't already in existing codes, either subdivision regulations or what would in the upcoming traffic ordinance. Once we get that finalized, these would fall into that. We wouldn't be doing anything outside of.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And we did have on here that it is when weather permits, which obviously has not been the case. So I think we're fine.
Eddie, I'll get with you the next couple of days and we can go out there and put a flag out there somewhere in Jamestown and
okay.
Spots for the signs.
Sure. Sounds good.
Just keep me updated, guys. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, number 16, intersection in Hamilton and Washington stop bar. Is that on your list, Eddie? We talked about that last week too.
Yes, I just need to get with Robert, get together with Robert Bruin and the city public works to put that in.
Okay.
We just haven't
Hopefully,
done it.
weather permits, we'll be able
Yeah,
to take that off
yeah.
our agenda next month.
Okay.
And then number 17, KYTC Highway 460 downtown parking modification. We're just waiting
That-
on,
Yeah, that's in Natalia. When they repave the streets, she's graciously agreed to take a look at some things in front of the planning and zoning building and that end of Main Street, then around there. So
okay. Number 18, stop signs at Seminole, Hutchins, and Copperfield Lane. Eddie and I talked about that last week. We're gonna try to address those in the next couple of months. And then number 19, traffic ordinance delayed due to COVID. We have
we
Devin
need to
on
get back on there.
notice, and we're getting ready to get back on that. Table business is traffic signal at Main Street and Paynes Depot. We'll just keep that there for now. And our next meeting is April the 19th via Zoom at 4:30. Does anybody have anything else they would like to add or bring up?
Okay, you just mentioned Main Street and Paynes Depot. Is that correct?
Yes.
It was removed in December.
Well, okay, then it's on my agenda, so take it off.
Yeah.
Not there anymore. Table business, there's 0.
All right.
No, we will have one that
Oh,
Natalia.
yeah, what was it?
I'll have to go back up here and look. But Devin or
I remember that. You're right.
Natalia asked us to table something up here at the beginning.
Wait a
It's for the
minute.
62 in Paris Pike.
Yeah,
Yes,
Or
thank you.
Yeah, 62, they wanted traffic
Cynthia
and
Road.
lighting.
Yeah.
Cynthiana Road, traffic and lighting.
Yeah, Cynthia Road, excuse me. That's what I meant to say. Cynthia
Gotcha.
Road.
You're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
That'll be
There-
on our table business.
Yeah.
Okay, next meeting is April 19th, 2021. Anybody have anything else?
No. Thanks,
Okay.
everybody. Thanks, Brendan, for
Not
getting
adjourned.
the
Yeah.
YouTube up going.
Thanks, Brendan. I know that it's hard.
Well, the first time you
appreciate
do it,
everybody.
it's hard to get it just right the first time. So
It was. It made me reset everything. So
yeah.
that was what took so long.
We're all guilty of that when it comes to
Hey, you got
technology.
it working. That's the main thing.
That's right.
Okay.
Okay, see you guys later. Thanks.
See y'all.
See y'all.
See you, Ben. See you, Tim. Bye, Connie. Bye, Kitty.
And it'll probably be tomorrow before I
Like
get
the
to
Waltons,
minutes.
you know.